discuss ideas, average mind discuss events, small mind discuss people. Said by Eleanor Roosevelt. One of my favorite statements. Actually, all my childhood looking at the statement is some kind of inspiration for me. And the reason why I love this quote so special than anything else is because the clarity it has around what people generally discuss and what kind of mindset they have. And it is always amazing for me, it's always interesting and fascinating for me to understand how people think. See, I always know that Steve Jobs was a great personality, and Bill Gates was a great personality, and Nelson Mandela was an amazing personality, and Mahatma Gandhi too. But I never heard them speaking in general terms. I always heard them talking about something very important, either in a scripted, very professionalistic manner, or something they are very fond of or very passionate about. I never heard them talking about their daily lifestyle or what kind of ideology they have or what kind of thoughts they have. See, this thought itself is something excites me. Like, what if my favorite person would be talking about this particular topic? What would be the founder of Tesla, Elon Musk, would be talking about this particular topic? What would be Simon Sinek, the writer of Start With Why, would be talking about leadership? See, some people talking about some topics will give us a great perspective. See, the thought about the intensity, the thought about the expression is very much important for me personally to understand the value of a topic. When I say anthropology, wow, what is the subject? It is so huge. It's study of human beings. But what intensity do I need to maintain to make myself feel good about the subject? It been to me at some point in my life, maybe the story relates to you as well. Personally, I am fond of advertising, branding, marketing. These terms are very much into my genes, I believe, and every time when I see the words written somewhere or someone saying it out loud, wow, that grabs my attention. It's something that started around 6th or 7th standard of my schooling, which means I was around 13 years, 12 to 13 years. And I used to watch TV channels just to make sure which kind of ads and who are the sponsors for this particular TV shows. Like, there's always this ad buys happening inside National Geographic channel. Let's say Nature vs. Wild, brought to you by so and so company. I was like, what are they what are they buying? Like, what is happening? Then later I realized there's something called ad slots, that's called media planning and buying, that's called advertising, that's called marketing. It always interested me. And a good thing for me is I referred to few books written by well published known famous names, like Philip Kotler was one, David Ogilvy was another. And these people, the way how they wrote their books showed the intensity to me personally, that forever changed my perspective towards advertising. And it got me all the way from my hometown to Mumbai. Is such a city. The reason I came to Mumbai, something I wrote in my 10th standard, an ad for State Bank of India. What if I created this jingle, and this jingle can be used by head corporation of State Bank of India for the next set of ads? That was a thought that made me feel like, wow, let me do something. And I finished my 12th standard and I came to Mumbai, and that grabbed my attention, this thought of advertising. You might be feeling the same kind of passion to something you love, maybe cricket, or maybe TV shows, maybe cooking, maybe science, politics, economics, civics, mathematics. You definitely would be also be fond with some kind of topic in your life, politics, any particular activity, because at some point, even for you, there would be that one personality, either by its father, mother, brother, sister, nature, friends. Someone would inspire us at some point in our life where it gave us that kickstart of understanding the pure essence of that particular stream, the particular industry, the particular objective. And this thought itself is so important for us that we became experts, or we became so concerned about that industry that our age, our gender, our education qualification doesn't matter. I saw some amazing musicians in the age of 11, 12 performing in professional music theaters age 11, 12, because they have that intensity. They saw something about that particular instrument or the particular object that no one ever told. What I'm trying to bring here, the point is that we will definitely like something when proper intensity is shown to us, and that's what I was speaking about. When some really good people gave me a thought of what is what, or giving that idea. For me personally, I'm not much of a reader, because it takes really long, it takes a lot of effort for me to read something and to analyze it, and the time it takes to analyze all this information, the more time it takes for me to read it. So it kind of cancelled out and I get sleepy every time when I open book. The amount of information it is getting into my head versus the amount of time it takes and effort it takes for me to read out that particular page is more. So I'm kind of, oh my god, there's so many pages, I'm kind of tired, unless it is very much important, the particular book what I'm going to be reading. Until that point, I would definitely don't read a book. But I would always love to listen, because listening really doesn't take too much of time for me personally. Frankly speaking, listening is something, as a skill, I have that in my head all the time. And talking is also something I love to do it. As I said, Nikhil speaks random shit. So this process of listening, it is so indulged into our head that even without acknowledging something, we might be hearing to something, and we might be even listening to something. There's a huge difference between hearing and listening. It's a topic for another day. See, that's what it is, right? You might be driving somewhere and you've been listening to a conversation, or you are cleaning your house and you're listening to something. See, the power of listening is you can do another activity in the meanwhile. You can listen and learn and understand. The amount of effort you're putting is 10%, the amount of result you're getting is like 90%. But in reading, what for me personally is, it's like 40-50%. Like 40% I need to put an effort, 50% in return I'm going to be getting some kind of content. So the ratio is great in listening, and that's the reason I love listening. And visuals definitely add a layer to that, understanding things by visual. And that's the way how even in 12,000 years ago, technically Neanderthals, then Homo sapiens really went out for farming, and they are started collecting group, they started making groups, and they really started using fire. During that time, the only way they represented something as a story were pictorials. So people have the essence of visuals from a long time. From after visuals, the next best thing people learned is communicating through languages, because what happens that way is the intensity is also shown. Let's say I'm giving an example of something which might happened 12,000 years ago to a alpha male of his family of 5 people, let's say, and this alpha male need to tell his children and his wife at night a story about how he hunted the tiger. So normally what he does, me, tiger, killing, food, right? And what I did is I just used all the nouns to tell the story. In this process, what I did is I just can mention the exact same thing in pictographic. Me, I will draw a diagram of me, then tiger I will draw, and the arrow I will draw, and tiger dead. I'll put 2 marks in that, and tiger is dead. So this is a story of telling me that this particular alpha male is telling his to his kids and wife, hey buddy, this is the story that happened. But when the intensity of communication came, then the father would express that amount of time, amount of effort, amount of value, amount of frustration, amount of power. See, what he's doing is he's expressing himself without filtration. Without filtration will give you more intensity to express in better words. See, if you give me 10 minutes to explain on something, and if you give me 1 minute to explain on something, I would say I will choose my words very carefully when you ask me to do it 1 minute, and I would not express as much as I can do in 10 minutes. And what makes a difference is the ability to express. And in speaking and listening, that is one of the very important thing. And yes, this is a big circle. And why am I doing all these big circles is I'm trying to connect some individual dots to podcasting. Podcasting is amazing medium for us to communicate. See, all I need to communicate to you, to your headphones that you're listening right now, maybe intentionally or non-intentionally, maybe this is a at some point would be listening to my words, and the amount of time and effort it took for me comparatively by writing or comparatively by doing any other visual media by YouTube or any other format would take a lot of time and a lot of energy to convey my story. And in this process, in the process of presentation, what I do is I try to edit out the value of the content I have to make it more presentable. Another example, how I got into Somaya. It's a college I graduated from. And if I do a video, I need to make sure of my background, I need to make sure of the content I'm talking, and also I need to make sure of the visuals and the body language and the editing and the lighting, a lot of other measures. But what is my intention to speak, and what is your intention to listen? Your intention, I am trying to communicate something, and you're trying to get my communication of what I'm trying to communicate. By adding extra layers, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to eliminate the content value. I'm trying to crisp the content. I'm trying to add some kind of video introduction. I'm going to say, hey guys, welcome to another video of Nikhil Speaks Random Shit. So today you might be seeing me wearing this Somaya t-shirt, and see, when I try to do, I'm trying to kind of engage with you. See, in this process, there might be some possibility, even in written or even in visuals, when you have visual medium, to grab your attention, to make it more presentable. To communicate something, you need to have two things. You need to have the content actually that you're communicating, and the quality as in the possibility of making this content more approachable. And this quality most possibly would be highly appreciated with the level of monetization, right? Content, if there is a crazy amount of value content which it's like immense, doesn't matter, even I'm running on a road and I recorded some very important conversation, and I'm a very huge personality and every word of mine is very valuable, then you will take an effort to listen, even the voice is very cracky and there's a lot of wind and very unedited and maybe mono, stereo, non-structured information. You will listen it, but to grab your attention more and more and more, look at in the same curve, I need to be sitting in a studio, I need to use a professional headset, I need to use editing software, I need to use proper tools and techniques, I need to use a lot of this streams to make sure that I can get to you. If I am either this good, again coming back to the story, podcasting in the concept of podcasting, again what makes it podcasting so special is the amount of effort you need to take for a better monetizable aspect of audio equipment, all that is very low, because people are coming here by cutting some slack, by cutting some frills for exact service that they are getting here for. Listening to the proper content. You're not here for the extra fills of the video, visual, or some kind of links, hyperlinks. You're here for listening to my audio, listening to my intensity, and you are getting exactly what you're looking for. So I'm just cutting up the crap and I'm giving you exactly what you're looking for. For me personally, this concept, when I realized that podcasting has actually an opportunity, can change the way how we communicate with people, because of this latest digital OTT platform structure, I can record 100 minutes podcast and I can record 20-minute podcast with amazing softwares available online. I can literally upload anything through RSS feed for free. And a lot of other companies are taking an initiative to make podcasting more approachable to people and also to make podcasting more vernacular. So in this podcasting, technically when you look at about the content side, when you look about the value side, when you look about the opportunity side and the time of the costing, and the time taken, it's always efficient. But why isn't podcasting being that great? One of the reasons I think is people aren't looking for exactly what podcasting is good at. That exactly, great mind discuss ideas, and in podcasting, ideas are actually being discussed. I personally like TV shows. In TV shows, presently I'm watching this TV show called The Good Place by Ted Danson and Kristen Bell, created by Michael Schur. And this TV show is speaking about ethics, and it's about an afterlife story. It's a very interesting story, highly recommended. And if there is any content that's ever available on this TV show, I would just go watch it. The same works with you, may not be with the TV show, but might be with cricket, might be with football, might be with movies, might be with politics, might be with economics, might be with education, might be with something else. Your intensity, the intensity you have, and that kind of eagerness you have If there is someone who can communicate with the same kind of eagerness with you, you found a market. You can create your own podcast by yourself due to its immense, interesting, and very fascinating advantages it has. It's a great way to communicate to people. What makes podcasting so special as an opportunity, as I told you in the starting of this episode, that I personally loved advertising. Let's say you personally also loved advertising, but you never cared about advertising because no one ever taught you very interesting concepts for advertising. And as I told you, every concept is interesting on its own pace, but using the right intensity is all it takes for you to love something, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I believe. And podcasting is an opportunity where anyone, you, me, can create hours of content which can inspire and encourage people to understand topics with their exact intensities, even not taking the primary method of video, visual, face, editing. I am not an editor, but I still can produce a good, decent quality of podcast. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Just take an example again that there is this course called BMM. It's called Bachelor's of Mass Media Communications. So, Mass Media Communication course, which is available in University of Mumbai and University of Pune, and might be in some other allied universities as well. So, in this University of Mumbai, there are around 130 colleges approximately which provide this course, and approximately 8,000 people right now in 2019 who are taking admissions. And in this 130 colleges, only 40 or 50% of colleges have an opportunity of 6 or 7 professors for 6 or 7 subjects. So it's approximately one professor for one subject. Remaining college, it is tough to have one professor for one subject situation because of scarcity of professors, the value, the knowledge, the transportation, because Maharashtra is huge, Mumbai is huge, there are so many colleges. Top 50 professors cannot go to 130 colleges because it's logically impossible to teach different set of people with different intensities or to even maintain the same intensity. But imagine hundreds and hundreds of hours of content can be produced in audio format and can be created as podcasting for higher education. The whole idea is developed and we spit it out. We give it out to the public. And let's say right now in the market, someone who had some interest in advertising heard my podcast, which I'm very passionate about, and I recorded something called Advertising 101, taking references of Philip Kotler and 10 other people. And every day I'm explaining one important topic about what is this particular topic in 20 minutes time frame, which is also half the time frame of a normal class around 45 minutes to 55 minutes. I'm taking half of that time frame, which is 20-25 minutes. So 20-25 minutes I'm talking about this particular topic, and I do have an opportunity to go to some interesting like amazing people out there in the market who are really good at doing what they are doing, and I can take their interview and I can create an interesting structure in this. Just imagine, Advertising 101. Every week I can release 2 episodes on this particular concept of advertising, and let's say 8,000 people, 10%, not even 10%, let's say 5% of the people are really interested to listen to what this podcasting is. So what this podcast about advertising is, that's 400 people. Just imagine, 400 people next year who can be potential advertising legends because they got the right intensity. They might be that guy I'm speaking about, a 12 or 13-year-old piano artist who is professional by himself just because he knows the right intensity of when to use what. That's the power of podcasting. Think about it. And I love to do more and more episodes of podcasting. Do give me some interesting topics, and I am coming up with a lot of interesting topics. And yes, it is a little elaborated episode, but I love to talk more, and I really want to know your feedback. And I hope you guys are having fun with the recorded conversations I'm doing right now. And again, I want to close this episode with again the same great quote that runs my life. Is great mind discuss ideas, average mind discuss events, small mind discuss people by Eleanor Roosevelt. Thank you.